2016 Porsche Cayman GT4 sports car in VR. Hello everybody and welcome to Opafed Gaming. I am the Opafed. Today we're driving in a Porsche Cup at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. We're doing 5 laps. We started 16th of 16 cars and we started with a rolling start. It looks pretty growly out there and I hope it doesn't rain because I didn't put any wet tires on for this race, so we just got to keep our fingers crossed and hope that everything's going to be okay. Now 5 laps are going to take a little while to do, so we don't have to get too excited right off the bat, but this here part of the track is awesome just for letting it go, opening it up and see how fast you can go. This track is a really nice track for that. It's got a couple of really good spots where you can open it up and a few nice little turns like this in there. It's just a great track to drive. Now if you happen to be driving a car that can go to speeds that kind of work with this kind of a track, then that'd be awesome. You know, especially a car that can handle the track well and is really responsive to the way you drive it. Now, this Porsche, the Cayman GT4, just so happens to be one of them. Now, the guys that I'm passing don't seem to have enough power, but the Opafed's got plenty in his Porsche, so we're just going to go and scream by them as we catch up to the next guy. Now, every once in a while, they do like to drive right where you want to be, and if you don't want to power around the outside of them or cut them on the inside, you just stay behind them and take your time and just hang on for a second, have a little bit of patience, and just wait until you get to the next section. There's a really nice one coming up here in a little bit, where you can pass them without too much problem. And the guy in front of me is still going pretty fast, so he's catching up to the cars in front of him, so I'm not really too worried about trying to get by him. Plus we're still in the first lap, so we got lots of time to go yet. Now once you come around this corner here, it's like a sweeping curve, and they all eventually drift back towards the inside, leaving the outside open for you to take and pass them by, just like that. And then you can catch up to the next guy and just slowly start picking them off one by one as we move our way up to the front of the pack. Boy, those clouds are looking awfully threatening to let loose a big thunderous shower. So I'm sure hoping that we can finish this race before that happens. Now we are just about to finish our first lap. Like I said, just a little patience to get around these guys. Just slowly move up the pack. And here's the end of the first lap. Now we're into our second lap, still a ways to go, and the sky overhead's not looking any better. So it's almost like if we can drive a little faster, we can have this race done before it starts raining. Now, if it does rain, even if it rains just a little bit, you don't have your wet tires on, you can still continue to race. You just have to be a little bit more careful, give the corners a little bit more respect, slow down a little bit on them, and it's going to slow down the whole race as it is and make it a little bit tougher to pass cars. But you have to do that because if you don't, it's very easy to spin out on a wet track. So just remember that if it does rain. Now we're catching up to the front batch of cars. I think we've gotten by the slower ones at the back, and we've caught up to the faster ones up front, and there again, 3 of them together, and they do like to block you out at times. If they can't block you out by driving in the optimum driving lane, they just kind of drive side by side, and that's okay because the Opafed doesn't mind, because there's always a way to get around it. Just wait until we get a little bit more room, and we know there's room around this corner again. And we can get at least one of them anyhow, maybe even more. As we just catch up to the next one, stay with them. Well, we only got one in that corner, but that's okay. Because there again, like I keep saying, as long as the cars in front of you are going as fast or almost as fast as you want to go, then they're still catching up to the lead cars. But you can't sit back behind them forever. If you're right behind them, you got to take the opportunity when it arises and rip by them. rip by them without running into them or running off the track or overshooting the corner. That's why I usually stay behind them. If I get close to a corner, there's no point in trying to race by him and then overshooting that same corner and running off the track, as he's racing by you and laughing at you because you ran off the track. So in that case, we just stay behind them when we get to a spot like this. Once again, same spot where we passed that car in lap number 1, we passed one in lap number 2. They always seem to cut to the inside and they leave a lot of room on the outside, so you don't have to fight for position with them, you know. Now we're going to catch up to these guys up front here as we're finishing the second lap, and we're almost in the middle of the race. We got half a lap to go, and that's half the race. Now it did look like there was some rain coming down, or it looked like there was some rain spitting out from behind the tires of that white Porsche in front of me, but I could be wrong. And we are now in our third lap, coming back on that long straight section again where it's really nice to pass, just open up. And we should be able to get by these two right here. Well, we should be able to get, well, we're going to hang tough behind them, I guess, a little bit longer. These cars at the front are going a little bit faster than the other ones that I've already passed, so they're hard to catch up to. And I can see by the moving of the wipers that we are starting to get a little bit of light rain coming down. Now we're going to take a chance and pass these guys anyhow, because if this rain gets any worse, we're going to have to go a little slower, and that's going to impede us getting to the front of the pack, and we don't want to have any chance of that. So we want to keep going as fast as we can, but we have to drive according to the weather conditions, because that's going to dictate your speed on the track. And it doesn't look like it's slowing down, looks like it's getting worse because the wiper's not stopping anymore. Now we got to catching up to another car in front of us there, and he might be close to the lead car, but he's going to be difficult to pass because he's really fast. And now with a little bit of rain coming down, it makes the track a little bit more hazardous than it was before. So your grip is not quite as good. You do slip a little bit. And you can see the rain on the windshield now, so it is coming down enough that pretty soon it's going to start pooling on the track. And when that happens, then we could be in trouble. But we have no choice but to continue. We are almost done with this lap, getting close to it. We've still got 2 to go. Hopefully, if it only keeps raining as slow as it is right now, we should be able to escape the weather. But you can never tell. And we still haven't caught up to that yellow car in front of us. And boy, let me tell you, I'm trying. But he keeps zipping away. He's pretty fast. And I think he's trying to take advantage of the track while it's still fairly dry before the rain unleashes more. So he's trying to create a little bit of a gap between himself and us, but it's not going to work because we're going to try and stick close to him. Maybe even there, like that. Close the gap a little bit. As we're finishing our third lap, we've only got 2 laps left to go, but that rain doesn't look like it's slowing down any. Looks like it's still coming down at the same speed. Only 2 laps left to go. We might be able to escape the worst of it if we're lucky. Now we got to try and catch up to this guy and get by him, because as you can tell, he keeps zipping away. And if, oh, there we go. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a rooster tail behind the tires of the car that's leading, meaning that the water is starting to pool a little bit on the track. So we're going to have to be careful in the corners and just hold up a little bit, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult to pass this guy. Now on the straight sections like this, we can still go full out. Well, we're going to have to slow down a little bit more when we go around this corner here. We're in the 4th lap, and we're having a heck of a time trying to catch up to this guy, let alone pass him. Can't even think about that. Catch up to him in the corner because he slows down. And then when he pulls out of the corner, he speeds back up again. And we just can't seem to stay right with him. What an absolutely awesome race this is, I tell you. The only way it would have been better is if there would have been beautiful, sunny, clear blue skies with the sun shining down. I always love racing in the sun. When you're racing on a growly day with the rain like this, I mean, it looks awesome and it's great to see in a race, but it's growly, you know, and it's just kind of, it's depressing almost. But if we can win the race, that'll cheer us up. Now we're catching up to him again right at the corner, and then when you get out of the corner, he speeds up again. But somewhere along the line here, we gotta make our move, because we know that big long stretch after the beginning of the lap, he seems to run away on us, so we don't seem to be able to catch up with him. So we got to get him here when he slows down too much for the corners. Oh, we could almost had him there, not quite. But we got that long sweeping curve here coming up. I think that might be the best chance that we should take to see if we can get in front of this guy. And once we get in front of him, maybe build up a little bit of lead. Looks like it stopped raining though. The track's still wet, but the lights are stopped because there's nothing coming out of the sky. Right here. Well, I tell you, this is he was hard to pass there. He had to slow down for the corner, and then because he was on the outside, he just didn't have the power to stay with us. So now we got a little bit of room between him and us. We got to keep that rolling. As we're coming up to the end of our fourth lap already, we've only got one left to go. We're keeping an eye on him in our rear view mirror, something that the Opel didn't always used to do. I used to ignore the rear view mirror. As soon as I passed the car, I figured he was behind me and I didn't have to worry about him anymore. But I was so wrong. But you learn something new every time you play or you drive another race. You pick up a little pointer here or there. We're in our final lap now, and as you can see, the track where all the cars have been driving in the middle there looks fairly dry. So we're going to try and stick to that portion of the track. Because the outsides, you can see, you can tell it's pretty shiny and it looks like it's wet. So we might be a little bit slippery on those spots. So we're going to try and stay on the dry spots. Here we're down that big long straight section again. I can't really see in the rearview mirror if that yellow Porsche is still with us. It looks like we pushed him off behind us a little ways. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to the Opel again. Looks like we're going to be taking the checkered flag on this race. Absolutely awesome. I love driving the Porsches and the Porsche Cup. This track happens to be a really cool track to drive too. I really enjoy this one. You know, and this here particular Porsche, the Porsche Cayman GT4, definitely a nice car to drive. If you ever have the opportunity to do so in Gran Turismo 7, especially in VR, give it a shot. You're going to like it. You're going to enjoy it like you wouldn't believe. Now we're about, I'd say halfway through this last lap. We're a little bit over, I guess. We're coming up close to the end of the lap. Absolutely awesome race. Really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the race too, and hope to see you back again at Opel Gaming real soon. Until then, you've been driving in a 2016 Porsche Cayman GT4 at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. We did 5 laps with a little bit of rain. It was interesting, it was different. And you did it with me driving, you as the co-pilot. I am the Opel.